I'd like to talk to you a little bit about, I've mentioned it before, pride of ownership. But more important about pride of ownership, I'd like to talk to you about the conditions of the Hollywood Beach Resort. Today's Saturday morning. I just came back after spending a week in South Florida, and I'm staying at my son's house, who is the general manager of the hotel on Hollywood Beach. He's also a board member, but only one of 7 people, so he's really not that effective in getting anything done with the board. But just this week alone, I can't believe what transpired at the Hollywood Beach Resort. Forget the obvious. The pool half drained of water overnight by ignorance and improper preventative maintenance. We had electricity go out at 5 o'clock in the morning and stay out until 7 o'clock the next morning. We had a building in total blackness with no fire watch, no added security, and basically no nothing. And when I find out that the generators wouldn't kick in, that we have a maintenance staff that tries to charge old batteries that are worthless on a critical life safety thing, such as the generator, rather than spending a couple of $100 on getting new batteries, having fuel for the generator so it does run at night, not that the building's in total darkness. The building's almost fully occupied by what I consider to be bottom of the barrel people. And I say that because during the same week, there was a gunpoint robbery taking place right on the boardwalk by Johnson Street. And guess what? Turns out to be one Hollywood Beach Resort renter robbing another at gunpoint. So we have the police there. Bottom of the barrel renters, we had another death in a room with a guy found by a member of the hotel staff with needles in his arm. Dead as a doornail. How many dead people is that making 1 month? How about the person that illegally lives in the building, one of the owners, with her boyfriend or husband, whichever it was, who was in the room with him for days during the hurricane, and the guy's dead in the bed. And you have people complaining that the floor smelled. What's the smell coming from their room? Well, it was the room next door with a lady sleeping with a dead guy. I posted pictures on the website so you could see what the condition of the room is. What do you think a paying guest is going to think when he walks by that room and takes a look in or smells it? My God, people, where is your head? I see rumors flying around, and everyone's worried about what Shecker's doing, what's Fisher doing, when you should be worrying about what you're not doing. And what you're not doing is paying attention to your own investment at the Hollywood Beach Resort. Our building is crumbling in the sand. You had millions of dollars taken from you by Jecky. You needed to get rid of Shecker. You needed to get rid of his hotel program. He was making millions and screwing everybody. We needed to get O'Malley's because we could make millions off of O'Malley's. Shecker's rich from O'Malley's. So we'll get rid of Shecker. We'll take over O'Malley's. We're going to take over the front desk, and everything's going to be great. Well, guess what? How's that working out for you? How's that friggin' working out for you today? Look at your building. The maintenance fees that were required to maintain our building were stolen, illegally diverted by Jecky, with books cooked to the tune of God knows how many millions gone, to a business that doesn't exist anymore, that's bankrupt. Yeah, that's right. Whether formally or informally, their business is gone. How long did they last? 1 or 2 years? Do you realize your books have been cooked and you're the victim of a massive fraud? People should be going to jail. And maybe they will, because it's not over yet. But at the end of the day, people, do you want to be driven out of your investment? Do you realize the Hollywood Beach Resort is probably the most valuable piece of real estate on the entire southeast coast? And maybe not just Florida, maybe all the way up to North Carolina? Why do you think the investors, big money people like Related Group, are circling us like sharks? Why? Why did they increase what they're going to give you by $5,000? How much is that per square foot? Are they giving you a fair price to sell out? Sure they are. I have no dispute with that. My problem is with all the bullshit and the rumors that float around and the conspiracy theory that everybody would prefer to buy into than face the reality of life at the Hollywood Beach Resort. And the reality of the Hollywood Beach Resort is we have a property that can be worth double or triple what it is today if we complete the 40-year certification and just do some basic cleaning items. We need to get rid of the board of directors unless they take immediate action and change the direction that they're going, which is nowhere. Come up with a plan, publish the plan, and let us hold you accountable to complete that plan. And the plan starts with cleaning, basic cleaning of the property. The first and second floor is a disgrace. And there's no excuse for it. You haven't had public bathrooms in over a year, or maybe longer. And my week down in South Florida, you know what happened at the Hollywood Beach Resort? We have people, we have our employees wanting to quit. It's turned into a flop house. In 1 week alone, we had the robbery on the boardwalk, a gunpoint robbery, one guest robbing another. We had a guest die in a room with needles in his arm. We had another guest caught on camera stealing a TV. We had a guest threaten the front desk clerk that they're going to go upstairs to their room and get a gun. Who the hell wants to come to work at the Hollywood Beach Resort? They tripled the cost of parking. Guests come to register and they boot or tow their car away because it takes longer than 30 minutes to register. My God, people, it takes longer than 30 minutes to get a friggin' elevator because they're not working. You have one elevator working this week, and it was the service elevator. It wasn't even the guest elevators. The hell's wrong with this board of directors? Why don't you call an emergency meeting and pass something to get new elevators? The ones that we have are beyond repair. I was the president of this association for over 18 years. And we never had these issues with the elevators. In fact, the elevators that are there today are the elevators my board almost 18 years ago voted to put in. The building leaks everywhere. Hurricane windows that Jackie fired, the original contractor, brings in his own guy. And we have tens of thousands of dollars of damage during the hurricane. Not from the hurricane windows. They lasted. They were good. But from the faulty installation, from the concrete around the windows, from the framing, I have tens of thousands of dollars in my own units worth of damage. And believe me, we have lost income for rooms being down and people not being able to rent their rooms because of damage from our building due to the faulty or no maintenance. And why? Why does this exist? Have you bothered to even ask yourself? You pick up the phone and you want to know, where's my rent check? How come I only get this amount? Why aren't we doing better? And my answer to that is come and take a look at the hotel. You have no air conditioning. You have no elevators. You had no swimming pool, all just this week alone. You had no friggin' electricity. You had a building all night long in the dark with no fire watch, no added security, nothing. And then the guests that do come, they get their car booted if it takes longer than 30 minutes to register And it does. As like I just said, it takes 30 minutes to get a friggin' elevator sometimes. So what does it take to get you pissed off, to make you show up at a meeting and tell this board of directors that you need and you want change? Get rid of the people that you have here. They have no experience. They have no proven track record. The only thing they have in common is their desire to get rid of Shecker. Well, I got news for you. I've been gone for a long time, almost 10 years now. I have no intention of coming back. And the few people that were hired who were identified as Shecker men were fired. So what happens? Well, you have Greg Ward refused a Shecker guy who was going to clean all the carpeting in the building for $2,000. Well, his guy cleaned a couple floors and wanted $11,000. And I wonder how much money Jackie received. And I don't know if it's true or not, but everyone says he got kickbacks. I don't know if it's true or not, but everybody said he got a huge broker's commission for getting the second floor sold. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered. But you know what? At the end of the day, if you're not going to take pride in ownership, if you're not going to do anything to help yourself, you've got exactly what you deserve. And when the hotel closes because my son's fed up with it, or because we can't get any more employees to take the abuse that happens on a daily basis at the front desk, you know what? Shame on you. You got exactly what you deserve. Where's your rent check? It's in the wind, people. It's in the friggin' wind. No matter how big or how small it is. We were a Ramada Inn doing over $7 million a year. When Jackie took over, he did $1 million. And he only did that $1 million because he hijacked my phone number. He was able to steal my reservations. Where are we today? Come and look at your property. Come and look at what exists today. Think about what it could be tomorrow. If you want to sell out to the related group, do it. I believe everything being told to us is nothing but a bunch of bullshit. First, I hear that the related group only needed 18 units and the deal was done. They're going to start closing in December. Well, you know what? I'll bet you dollars to donuts nothing happens in December. I bet you dollars to donuts they don't even have what they're telling you they have. Publish the friggin' list. Let's see it. I heard last week that Shecker was the reason that the deal's not happening. He refused to give his 8 units. I only have 7 or 8 units there. I'm not going to make a difference one way or another. But then the next rumor was Shecker signed up. We only need a couple more and everything's good. And then a lady wrote to the board that she's being harassed by this broker who supposedly works for the related group. It's pathetic, people. You believe what you want to believe. The people at the Hollywood Beach Resort would rather buy into, and be part of conspiracy theories than to face the reality of life. Pull up your pants and protect your investment. Turn the Hollywood Beach Resort into something we can be proud of. Go look at the Breakers. Go look at the Biltmore. And come home and look at our property and think to yourself, what could it be tomorrow? It could be worth 3 times what it is today. It can carry into the future as the grand old lady of Hollywood Beach. Not the flop house of Hollywood Beach, which it is today. We need leadership. We need direction. We need a plan and we need a goal. And we need to change a few things. But you know what? The first step is cleaning up the first and second floor. They're horrific. No ceiling tiles, filthy floors, disgusting. 150 light bulbs burnt out. My God, how hard is it to replace a burnt out light bulb? Bathrooms that haven't worked in a year, and the ones that did work, they're so disgusting a normal person wouldn't use them. I don't know where your pride of ownership is. You're like an ostrich that puts its head in the sand. What do you do? Walk up, I would say ride the elevator, but they don't work half the time. So what do? Walk up the stairs and go in your room and shut the door? And bury your head in the sand like an ostrich, but in your room? You don't want to go outside? And those that go outside, the dead people on the second floor, an owner who's not supposed to be living there is living and sleeping there during the hurricane with her dead boyfriend or husband, with flies taking over the whole place, smell permeating through the floor, paying guests wondering why their room stinks. Huh? Your room stinks because there's a dead guy sleeping in the next room. You think bed bugs are a problem? Oh, man. This week alone, another dead body, needles in his arm, robberies, people leaving with a TV, somebody threatening the front desk clerk. How many cars were booted? What the hell's wrong with the garage owner? Booting people who are registering, who are going to get in their car and drive 100 feet to become a paying customer for the garage. It boils down to the exact same reason failure exists at the Hollywood Beach Resort. And it's one word. I can describe it in one word. Cooperation. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist at the Hollywood Beach Resort. And I'm glad I'm gone. But I don't want my son to leave because he gives up. Shekers don't give up. We fight to the end. And I think my son has learned something from me as his father. He's going to be in there to the end, I hope. I'm encouraging him to stay. He was ready to walk this week, I guarantee you. But sadly, when you can't find any employees, what do you got to do? You got to close the doors. When we took over the hotel program from Jackie and Welliver, do you realize there were 68 rooms that had no televisions? Nothing. No linens? Nothing. Nothing. And that hotel program, if you don't believe me, go watch the video. Jackie said on video that the owners of that program were going to pay all the expenses of the program. Well, guess what? Our books were cooked so much that the only people that paid are you and me and those that weren't even on his friggin' program. We're out millions of dollars. Our building is a total disgrace. It's crumbling in the sand. It's being eaten alive from the inside out like a cancer. And it started with Michelle Jeckie. And until we get rid of, whether it be Jeckie or Ward or whoever's doing their own thing right now, the business about let's get rid of Shecker. Well, I got news for you. Shecker's been gone a long time. Get off that horse. The only thing you unite others about is your hatred for Shecker. And then when Shecker's gone, now the new target is Fisher. So target the people that could actually help you. Target the people you should be riding their coattails and benefiting from their abilities to take us into tomorrow, to a tomorrow we all want to be in, rather than the today or yesterday where we came from in the miserable conditions of today, or just this past week when I left. Today's Saturday morning, I'm away from the Hollywood Beach Resort, and I'm thankful. Question is, what are you going to do next? Where are we going? Are you going to pick up the phone and call management? Are you going to pick up the phone? Call Greg Ward. Call Greg Ward. Let him ride his bike over to the Hollywood Beach Resort. He's the president. He's our leader. The hell is he going to do? The same. Nothing. He's got an opinion. We all, every one of us, we have an asshole and we have an opinion. But we have assholes running our place with really good opinions. And I'm one asshole, and this is my opinion. And I hope you have one that you're willing to express, that you're willing to take pride of ownership, and that you're willing to join me and let's do something to take back our association. I've had enough. My son can't do it alone. He's there every single day in the trenches. And until you're in those trenches, it's never going to help.